I used to think of the woods behind my childhood home as a sanctuary. A place where the air was clean, the birds sang, and the city's noise faded into a distant hum. One late afternoon, the sun already dipping low, I decided to take a longer hike than usual, exploring a path I hadn't noticed before. It was just an impulse, a desire to see what lay beyond the familiar. The trees grew denser, their branches interlocking overhead, turning the path into a dim tunnel even before dusk truly set in. The air grew colder, and a strange stillness settled over everything. It felt as if the very forest was holding its breath. As twilight bled into night, the woods transformed. The familiar shapes of trees became distorted, reaching out like skeletal fingers. I realized I was utterly lost. My phone had no signal, and the path I'd followed seemed to vanish. Panic began to claw at my throat, but it was quickly overshadowed by something far more chilling. I heard it first as a faint, almost imperceptible whisper, just beyond the range of my hearing. It wasn't the wind. It sounded like voices, fragmented and ancient, murmuring just at the edge of perception, coming from everywhere and nowhere all at once. My blood ran cold. I tried to rationalize it, to tell myself it was just the wind playing tricks, but the whispers grew bolder, almost coalescing into words I couldn't quite grasp. Then, a branch snapped nearby. Too loud for an animal. My flashlight, a weak beam by now, swept across the darkness, catching fleeting glimpses of movement just at the edge of its light. Shadows that elongated unnaturally, shapes that seemed to twist and writhe, just beyond clear focus. They weren't animals. They moved with an unsettling fluidity, a predatory stillness, always just out of sight, always watching. I felt an overwhelming sense of dread, a primal fear that tightened my chest. I broke into a run, stumbling through the undergrowth, branches whipping at my face. The whispers turned into a chorus of mocking laughter, echoing from all directions, no longer faint but unnervingly clear, yet still just out of reach of full comprehension. The shapes were closer now, fleeting in my peripheral vision, tall and thin, like stark trees come to life. The forest itself seemed to conspire against me, roots rising to trip me, branches forming impenetrable barriers. I was losing my mind, caught in a nightmarish loop. The last coherent thought I had was of falling, a sharp pain, and then an all-consuming darkness that swallowed everything. When I opened my eyes, the world was blurry, tinted with a dull, unnatural light. I was in my own bed, the familiar scent of home surrounding me. Disoriented, I tried to speak, but my throat was raw. My parents were there, their faces etched with worry and relief. They told me the search and rescue team had found me unconscious, miles from where I was supposed to be. They mentioned how I'd been muttering strange words, seemingly ancient, unrecognizable phrases, repeating them over and over. I had no memory of it, or anything after the fall. They said I kept talking about the old ones, and the forest's hunger. My parents looked at me with a new kind of fear, a fear that hadn't been there before. They brought in doctors, therapists, but nobody could explain the words, or the vacant stare that sometimes fell over me. I tried to forget, to move on, but the woods never truly left me. Sometimes, late at night, I hear it. A faint, almost imperceptible whisper on the wind, like voices just beyond the range of hearing. And sometimes, when I look into my own eyes in the mirror, I see a fleeting shadow, and I wonder if I truly came back alone from the whispering woods.
The lingering question remains, what truly happened out there? If you were gripped by this story, hit the like button, subscribe to join our community of horror enthusiasts, and tell me your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement truly means the world. Thanks for tuning in to this terrifying experience.